Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Regina. I have a video just discussing loving yourself and loving your neighbor as God has called us to, and what that looks like and how we can do a lot better. So enjoy this video. Click that subscribe button and like. We did what do you call it? We just hung out at the small group leader's house, and it was really nice. It was really nice. Social events, they just take a lot out of me as who I am. It just takes a lot out of me, and I'm putting some lemon in my water. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoy them. I do. I love women. I really love women. I love how God created us for community and to be together. I'm really growing and learning how to have healthy relationships with people. I feel like prior to this season of life, I was always so attached to people. Like, I would just attach to people in an unhealthy way when I found that I liked them, they liked me. And so, I feel like the Lord has me on this journey of like really figuring out how relationships work in a healthy way. Okay, so, relationships within the past, well, I mean, to be honest, y'all, like, relationships have just been a place of contention for me, like, because growing up without a dad, and then my mom she worked a lot, and so I was a latchkey kid, and I was just by myself a lot. It really, honestly, didn't set me up to have the best relationships, like. And then it was like when I had relationships with people, they were extremely unhealthy. And they were unhealthy because I didn't have an identity in who Regina was as a person. And so I'm married. I want to understand how to have an identity outside of those things. And I want to have interest. I want to have friendships that are healthy, and I don't want to self-sabotage, myself as well. Like, that's another thing, is realizing how unhealthy you are as a person, and like individually, and being able to come out of those places. Because also, like, I just did not, like, I think I've shared on my channel before, like, I did not know how to love myself and love people well. And I didn't understand the scriptures of, like, love yourself as you love your neighbor. I did not understand that because I didn't love myself first. I didn't grow up learning how to have a relationship with God. And like, we would call ourselves Christians, and we loved God. We believed that His word was true, but the relationship aspect was just not present. And so with my husband, I'm learning how to have a healthy relationship with him, to where I'm not soaking into his life to where I don't know who I am when he is not with me, if that makes sense. And also too, with my firstborn, I'm learning how to respect and honor him. First, respecting and honoring my husband, right? But also, like, respecting and honoring my son as a human. Like, and I'm learning how to have a healthy relationship with him. Because when it comes to parenting, it's about your relationship with the child versus you just disciplining a child day in and day out, forcing them to do what you want them to do, forcing them to not run when you need them to walk. You know what I mean? I hope that makes sense, because, like, I sometimes get shocked, but, like, at where I've come from, how long, like, where I've come from, right? And how far I've come in my relationship with God, relationship with myself. So, yeah, leaving that, what do you call it? The breakfast with the ladies from my newer small group, which they're all new to the small group too. Leaving there had me reflect as a deep thinker, because whenever I go into social encounters, like, I have to pray, and I think that that's the way it should be. I think it's easy to go into your job, to go into family gatherings, to go into church, and to go everywhere and not have prayed and not have thought of how do I serve, like, not being so self-absorbed with what you have going on, that you can't see people outside of yourself. I don't know if you could see me in that moment, but yeah, this is like way too cold for me right now. I don't want it on high. That feels so much better. And sometimes, like, I feel like it's easy to be like, oh, introverts and how they're created and how they're made, they need to kind of like prepare and get acquainted with, what's going on, and like prepare for social gatherings. But also, it's everybody that needs to prepare for social gatherings, because sometimes we go into environments and we're not ourselves, and we haven't had time with God, and we are at our raw fleshly self, and that's just not where we should be. We should be covered by the Lord. Like, are we praying before we go everywhere? Like, are we praying before we leave the house? Are we praying before we walk into a gathering? Are we praying before we go meet up with a friend? Are we praying before we even have date night? Because, like, our flesh, man, it's easy to just show up without thought, without preparation, without mentally engaging, and just do life with people. And it's like, to live a Holy Spirit-filled life, we have to get outside of our comfort zones, and we have to be healthy and spend time with God. And, like, I don't know, I hope that what I'm saying makes sense, because it's like me being a postpartum mom, for example, being like, oh, I just, got out of bed, and, been nursing all night, and I don't have time to spend time with God, and I don't need to filter my mouth or watch my mouth, or I don't need to watch what I have to say, because I'm 5 months postpartum, and I'm not getting much sleep, and so I just have to show up the way that I am. And it's like, ew. Showing up the way that I am without Jesus is yucky. Like, that's one thing that I'm just like, I've come to understand and I've come to learn. Like, showing up without Jesus is yucky. Because I want to show up filled with His Spirit, filled with His presence. I want to show up representing Him well, no matter how much sleep I did or didn't get. If I only got 1 hour of sleep, I don't need to go. You know, like, I need to respect and honor myself and not go. So these are the things that I'm learning as a woman, because also, like, this is another thing. Like, I used to have so much FOMO. Like, oh, they're, all these people are getting together. Like, I gotta go. I gotta be there. I gotta be on top. No, like, I don't have to go if I'm not in a healthy mental space, and if I haven't had time with God and I feel icky and gross and I don't need to go. Like, I would be doing myself a disservice to show up at a place not ready, not with the armor of God on. Like, if I'm exhausted, I need to stay where I can preserve what I have for myself, for God, for my family. I hope that this makes sense, because relationships and loving your neighbor is having boundaries for yourself. And this is just me preaching to myself. Like, if I don't have boundaries for myself, what am I doing showing up to the function for? Like, no. So I've had to learn the hard way of being being unholy, being yucky, like not having a brittle on my tongue. Man, y'all, a few years ago, feels like it was, I guess it was 2 years ago, I had gotten a word at church about brittling my tongue. I was in a tough season, y'all. Extremely tough. But that didn't mean that I don't need to brittle my tongue. That didn't mean that I don't need to, like, watch what I say. And I think that I used to think that just because I'm in a tough season, I can't brittle my tongue. I can't show up the way I need to show up. And the Lord just corrected me, I remember, and it planted a seed in my heart that I needed to have in my heart. Holy and mature and with wisdom has come with a lot of dying to my flesh, a lot of dying to what I want, and now I'm just, she sounds so sweet. She sounds so sweet. So now I'm just working on it. Number one, how to love yourself and how to love your neighbor. That's number one. Number two, don't walk into environments and you hadn't spent time in the presence of God, because, like, your flesh shouldn't, like, there's this, the physical world exists, we know that. The spiritual world exists. So be spiritually ready when you wake up and you go out to do what God has and called you to do, That's number 2. 3, walk in maturity. Like, present God well. Like, as a person of God walking with Him, we can represent Him well. We can show up acting like we know Him, you know? Anyway, that's it. I hope that this video blesses you and encourages you in your walk with God. And I hope to see you soon.